What's up, everyone? It's Arcadius here with another class rundown for this series. Today we will be going over our Arcane Mage. Now, the gemming and enchanting are the same for any spec of a mage, but the difference is the talents and the glyphs, and the rotation, clearly. So today we're going to start off by going over our talents as an Arcane Mage. Now, a lot of people don't play Arcane or even Fire because Frost is so overpowered, but truthfully, when it comes to Battlegrounds and PvP, I find Arcane to be the most fun because of the insane burst damage. Now, to start things off, you want to put 3 out of 3 into your Netherwind Presence because it increases your spell haste, which is great when you're spamming your Arcane Blast. But I'll get more into that later. Next, this is truly up to you. You don't have to put 2 out of 2 into Counterspell. Some people, might put it into Improved Polymorph or even, Improved Arcane Explosion. I like it because I like the silence that you get after interrupting. And then I put 2 points into Arcane Concentration, so that, I still have that, 6% chance of a clear casting state. Then I put 2 out of 2 into Improved Blink because of the increased speed. And as Arcane, because we're so squishy, it allows us to get out of the way much quicker, So you want to be able to do that. And having the 70%, speed increase for 3 seconds it's amazing. Improved Arcane Missiles. This is great because Arcane Missiles is actually quite powerful right now because you tend to crit a lot. So, having a couple more shot is great. Invocation 2 out of 2 is nice if you are like me and you want to, have that interruption. You increase damage, so this is all out of personal preference and personal experience. Torment the Weak, your arcane damage spell deals 6% more damage to snare to slow targets. This is great. You want 3 out of 3 because it comes in later to one of our later talents. Presence of Mind, you guarantee instant cast for anything that's less than 10 seconds. Missile Barrage is great because it you increase the speed of how many times, like how quickly arcane missiles come out. Arcane Flows 2 out of 2, it reduces the cooldown of your Presence of Mind, Arcane Power, Invisibility, as well as your Evocation spell. Now, Arcane Tactics is great because it increases damage of any kind into all party members and raid members within 100 yards by 3%. 3% is actually a lot, more than you think. Enchantress Absorption. When your Mana Shield or Mage Ward absorbs damage, your spell damage is increased by 20%. This is great because, if you have your Mana Shield up and people are attacking you, you hit much harder. And then once your Mana Shield goes down, it blows your enemies away, giving you more space either to run away, slow them down, and then burst them down, or just to, freeze them in place, or just burst their ass down. Next, you want Slow. This is great if, you have a hunter running away from you, or someone on a mount that you want to catch. Throw on Slow. It allows you to catch up to them. Arcane Potency. This is awesome. When you activate Presence of Mind, your next 2 damaging skills, you have a chance of critting by 15%. That's great. Nether Vortex. Anytime you cast Arcane Blast, you slow the target. So, for Torment the Weak, that's great because you increase damage. Focus Magic is good because, it's great with spellcasters. You get it so that way you both get, an increase in critical. Mana Gem is great, if you're running low on mana, pop a Mana Gem, you get increased 2% damage. Awesome. And then last but not least, Arcane Power. This, you deal 20% more damage, even though they cost more damage. Trust me, it's definitely worth it. And then it also reduces the GCD of Blink, Mana Shield, and Mirror Image. So, that's pretty badass if I say so myself. Now, that's all for the Arcane. Under the Fire, we put 3 out of 3 into Burning Soul to reduce casting time, when people are attacking you. That helps. And then Massive Elements, 30% refund of mana on criticals. You crit a lot as Arcane, so that mana is perfect. You want that. And then in Frost, the increased critical strike chance of your spells. So, you know, that's a guarantee. And that goes for your talents. Now to, you know, supplement for these talents, we go to our glyphs. For our primes, you want Mage Armor, Arcane Missiles, and Arcane Blast. For our Mage Armor, some people might substitute Arcane Barrage, but I prefer the mana regen. For your Magers, Evocation for the increase your health, to regain health back. Arcane Power. And then Glyph of Polymorph to, you know, if they have dots on them or something, it'll remove them. Then I like Mirror Image because they cast Arcane Blast instead of Frost. Slow Fall for like Arathi Basin if you want to jump off or something. And the Mage Armor, or Glyph of Armors, because it just increases the duration. Now, that's as simple as it gets. You know, it's pretty basic. The rotation is simple, but before we get into that, let's go over enchanting and gemming. Now, for your meta socket, you want plus 54 intellect and 2% max mana, or you can do the plus 54 intellect and 3% critical strike damage. That's purely up to you. For your red sockets, you're going to, if you're a jewel crafter, you want the brilliant Chimera's Eye, or just you want 4 bowl or brilliant Inferno rubies to fill in your red sockets. For your shoulders, which would be your yellow sockets, you want plus 20 int and plus 20 haste, or plus 20 int and plus 20 crit. You can do Resil if you're a hardcore PvPer, but I don't really care for that all that much. I like the haste to increase my speed. And then that's red and yellow. For our blues, just like in my previous video on the Elemental Shaman, if you're a spellcaster, you want Spell Pen to get past their resistances. You know, their resistances, so that way you crit them for more damage. And then for your third blue, that would be normally in your hands, I put that 4th intellect in there to increase my damage. And then that's all for your gems. It's pretty basic. It's pretty much the same as the Elemental Shaman, except instead of Mastery, it's Haste and or Crit. For our enchants, your head, your shoulders are both, you know, reputation items, so you want plus 60 int and 35 crit for your head. Pardon me. 50 int and 25 haste for your shoulders, and for your legs, 95 int and 80 stam. That's pretty much how it will go for almost all spellcasters, unless you're a healer. Now, for your cloak, 70 Pel Pen to try and reach that spell penetration cap of 175. For your chest, plus 40 Resil. You know, you want higher Resil to take less damage. Your bracers, you can either do plus 50 crit or plus 65 crit, depending on the price of your Maelstrom crystals and whether or not enchanters on your server have it. You know, it all depends on what's around you. For your gloves, you want haste. Haste is good because you can let off your arcane blast much quicker. For legs, we already got boots. Haste again. If you are an enchanter, you can knock off your rings with int. And then for your weapon, power torrent. There's nothing else. You can do hurricane, but I prefer intellect for the increased intellect damage. And then for my offhand, plus 40 int. That's pretty basic. And that is the rundown for your gems, your enchants, and then your glyphs and talents. Now, because it's pretty basic, I will show you guys the rotation as an Arcane Mage. So, let's go over here and grab this dummy. Let's pull. Oh, for your mage armor, people like to differ. I prefer mage armor. It's perfect. And then obviously intellect. Now let's go ahead and go over here. We have our 85 dummy. I usually, depending on, you know, what I'm doing, I'll usually start off with an Arcane Barrage. And then basically all you do is you spam. I like to spam Arcane Blast until I get an Arcane Missiles. Then I let off an Arcane Missile. And then it's pretty basic. That's basically your entire rotation as an Arcane Mage. Every now and then, if someone's running from you and your Arcane Barrage is on cooldown, hit them with a Fire Blast. Or, you have your Ring of Frost, to protect yourself. Here's the Blink with the improved talent. And then Frost Nova, that's pretty basic. You can let off your Arcane Missiles. And then your Flame Orb. It's pretty simple. Mages, their rotations are pretty easy, pretty self-explanatory. For Presence of Mind, I like to throw it on and then use Arcane Blast for the instant crit, and it slows them down, and then from there I usually just spam Arcane Blast. And that's it, you guys. That is how an Arcane Mage plays. I will add in some PvP. I'm starting off with all the class rundowns right now, and then I will get into some actual videos. So if you guys have any questions, if you guys have any, if you guys want me to do something next, please let me know. And I haven't done it yet, comment below, send me a message, and I will do my best to get to it. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope this was helpful, and I will be back later with more videos for you guys. Thanks for watching. See ya.